Well, Joe,
Well, Walter,
here we are again.
once again.
And we've been thinking here at the Art Cheats headquarters a little bit about some of the more quasi philosophical, intellectual, academic aspects of art. And what we're going to talk today about is the notion of meta, which is art about art, or thinking about thinking, or thinking about art.
Not the company.
No, not the company. No, I mean, that jackass named it that because he doesn't even probably really know what it means. But we know what it means. So meta is when like if there's a painting of uh the Mona Lisa,
Yes.
and then I do a painting of the Mona Lisa holding a banana, my painting could be considered a commentary on the other painting, or a meta commentary. Not necessarily a good one,
No,
but
not really.
it's basically the idea that there is another level of awareness between the thing and another thing.
Oh, because you're making a comment about
Yeah,
Warhol
yeah,
and Michael.
right. Could be that.
See, exactly. So that's very meta.
So part of the reason this is important is, within the art world, there's
Or Walt.
yes,
It could be a comment about that taped up banana.
that exactly
Yeah.
right. It could be
Oh, gosh.
crisscrossing all these
sort of
things.
meta levels on this thing.
So you add the banana, and suddenly one piece is commenting on four other pieces.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Now, other people did this in the old days,
Uh-huh.
like, Francis Bacon, who was very taken with the painter Velázquez, who was maybe a painting genius. Velázquez did a painting of the Pope, and Bacon did a very weird version of Velázquez's painting. So his painting was a commentary on the other artist's work, or a meta commentary. So this meta idea, it's another way of just sort of saying, like, how self-conscious is the work,
Right.
right? Or or just how aware is the work of how it sits in the bigger art world, culture world,
Yeah. So like Rauschenberg erasing
Yes, yes.
de Kooning.
Say the whole thing. So those people out there, they don't know what you mean when you say Rauschenberg erased de Kooning. They need help, Joe. Give them the background, a tiny.
So Rauschenberg had the idea that Willem de Kooning gave him a drawing, a pencil drawing. And so, of course, I don't know, as it's described, it's a masterpiece by de Kooning. I'm not sure that's true. But Robert Rauschenberg promptly took an eraser and erased the pencil drawing. And so, concept piece.
Yeah, the resulting artwork is some kind of a commentary or meta commentary by the one artist on the other artist.
Right.
And, the other piece of that story that's good is I think he intentionally gave him a drawing that was very hard to erase. Right? It was like, he didn't just give him one easy to erase. He was like, go ahead, try to erase this.
That's right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Well, okay, so what does this mean for you as an art cheater? It means that, for one, all these highfalutin gallery muck guys, like a gallery person or a art curator or a gallerist, if your art seems to be commenting about other art,
right,
well, suddenly, they might write about you.
Right.
You might be able to say that, I might be able to say, oh, the work of Joe Such invokes a tradition going all the way back to XYZ, to some of the earliest representations of XYZ, or even XYZ. But the point is, if you're making a thing, you're it's hard to make original material in our culture.
Right.
And I think we've already discussed that. When you do make something that is not original material,
right,
it's immediately in dialogue with all the other versions of that have ever been done.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's kind of like the Easter egg, movie. You know what I mean? It's like there's these hidden things. So, for instance,
if you're in the know,
if you're in the know, and if you're not, it's fine. The piece can stand on itself. But like Francis Picabia, he did this series of works, these paintings and things like that, and inside of them, the figures were all many of them reference classical paintings and classical drawings, right? That the figures were in them. And so if you weren't in the know, you look like I wasn't familiar with a lot of the references, and so, but that was a nice, great painting. But then it's like, oh, it's references, whomever, and these sort of things. And so it's kind of, so there's a long history of it,
Well, there's that. And also, immediately if you do a thing like that, if you reference, some famous earlier painter, Velasquez,
Mhm.
it kind of makes it seem like you're more sophisticated.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And the other thing too is you were mentioning the thing about the gallerists. It's like, or the curators that they would know.
of course, they'd be
And
like,
now,
oh,
exactly. Now you've made them feel smart.
yeah, right. And then they're going to say, oh, I love your work. You made me feel
Yeah,
smart.
because I got the joke.
This work, yes, this work is so smart. And I want to show that I'm smart and I want to show your work
Exactly.
so we can all be smarty pants.
That's right. So I can sit there and go, do you get the little thing in there?
Yeah, yeah. Which is not, it's not bad in and of itself because
Right.
there's a long tradition of artists riffing off earlier artists and
Absolutely. And in a funny way, they're actually copying to it
you often
as opposed
usually.
to just blatantly plagiarizing.
Well, I
Right.
mean, now many
Uh-huh.
people, this is kind of the problem now. It's fine if you admit it.
Right.
If you try to deny it and you're
Right.
like, oh no, this is my
Yeah, my
design.
design. Yeah.
Yeah, then you're in
Right.
hot water because everybody's like, no, it's not. Look, the person
Right.
clearly,
Right.
he stole the lyrics to this
Right.
song.
Right.
So
But
what?
you bring up a I'm sorry, you bring up a good point is that um so and I guess this is kind of the cheat in all of this is look, you're making work and and you make your work for whatever reasons you make your work, and things like that. But whenever you make something, it's like you think about when you make a product, you think about who the audience is. And so if you're ever involved in like making things to sell, it's like, okay, they tell you, who's your audience? Who's your audience? It's like, well, who's this intended for? And what's your demographic? And so, but as an artist, it's like, okay, this is someone's going to buy my work and put it in their home or whatever, da da da, or, but almost your most important customer is the gallerist
Yes,
or the curator.
because they're a gatekeeper.
They're the gatekeeper. And so you have to think about what's in their head,
Right. Yes, absolutely
right?
true. And most artists are probably not that calculating.
Yeah.
And
They just say, oh, I'm going to make great work. I'm just going to make great work.
right.
It's like, oh, look, I'm a technical painter. It's like, oh, look, I'm better than all these people here. But it's like, are you thinking about what the gallerist wants? Right.
Well, ripping off some earlier great artists
Uh-huh.
and meta riffing on them. I mean, we are in an age where, blatant thievery is more rewarded than ever, right? I mean, there's never been a time where people are like, hey, I stole this from, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and isn't that great?
Yeah.
Look,
Right.
it's great. So one could embrace that
Yeah.
rather than, but
Right.
there's a certain amount of, I mean, now we're into something, Joe.
There's a
Artists feel shame sometimes when you call them out on a lack of originality. I mean,
well, it's a penetrating insult.
I've seen people almost like go white when I've pointed out that they copied someone else or
Did they take a punch at the truck?
no, their soul collapsed and
Yeah.
they wanted to cry. And I was like, hey, I don't care.
Well, they may or may not have been aware of it, but
Well, the funny thing is, like, I mean, there is, like, everybody has some original ideas. Everybody has some ideas they borrow. Everybody has some ideas they
stole.
manipulate, whatever. And but it's kind of the myth in art that the artist is a person that ascends to heaven and brings back the fire of originality, and that's the magic they will show us.
That's a rare occurrence.
It's crazily rare. I mean, think about movies. Like, how many movies seem like wildly original?
No, there's the same 7 story, whatever the thing is. It's not. Here's here are the storylines. Pick one. It maps a modern situation over the top of it.
Right.
And then cast it with the current, stars du jour. Yeah, there you go.
Or just remake it. Or just remake it for the 12th
Or
time.
if they're making it today, okay, fuck it up somehow.
Yes. Make one of the people like,
exactly. Cast it inappropriately. And then
right. Cast it backwards.
lunges over the head with some fixed social message. And there you go. You fucked up Superman.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, well, you didn't really need a, traditional hero to worship. We'll give
Exactly.
you
We'll give you
some kind of an inversion of
right,
that.
exactly.
And maybe you'll like it. Maybe everyone will stay home.
Guess you didn't.
But
Okay, so-
okay, so we're back to this meta thing.
Yeah.
What the cheats that we can give people are, number one, to be aware that any kind of a art about art thing
Mhm.
brings up a meta level, and maybe that's good.
It makes it interesting.
Gallerists and museums tend to like this because it makes them feel smart, as you pointed out.
Mhm.
And it's actually kind of an interesting challenge to take a thing
Yeah.
you like
Right.
and say, I already kind of like this.
Right.
And let me see if I can do my version of it that has some interesting version of my personality overlaid on it,
Yes.
which might reveal my personality, which is
Right.
cool.
Yours is cool.
My personality is incredibly cool. Well, I mean, I within reason, But anyway, yes. So the cheat here is just be aware.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
All right. When I'm kind of like working on my stuff, designing my things,
Yeah.
I design them. I design meta in.
Oh, well, that's fine.
But I think about,
You're aware.
yeah, I'm aware. And I try, I want things to have
A meta level.
yes.
Well, that's good to be aware of that.
Yeah. I want, to me, they have to have it.
See, the worst thing would be is if your things had a meta level.
Uh-huh.
Like, you were obviously working off of someone else's work, or I don't want to say copying, but
Right.
like strongly influenced by you.
Right.
The worst thing would be is if that was happening and you either were unaware of it,
Right.
or denied it.
Yeah. No. I like things to have at least a dual or multiple, like not so dual, multiple meanings, but sort of these other levels of meaning. Right.
Well, that's one of the cool things about art. It doesn't have to be,
Right.
as blatant as a
Right.
photograph, which is just
Right.
like, there's reality, here's the picture.
Right. Yeah. But one way to do that is to make sure there's a little bit of ambiguity
Or mystery.
and mystery. Yeah, exactly. So if there's two figures, or if there's a figure and there's a background with other figures or things like that, it's like the relationships, it is not 100% clear.
And then, right.
Right.
Or the other thing that's interesting is even if you invoke another artist, right? Like, okay, we were talking about Duchamp, who, in 1912 had his ready-made toilet,
Yeah. Irrelevant.
Well, okay, the thing is, I could do a painting of that
Oh, right. Sure.
now,
Sure.
and it would be my commentary on him back then.
Yeah.
And depending upon how I did it,
Yeah.
I could do it in like day glow hippie psychedelic color. So, at some point you'd be like, it does raise the question about like, okay, what am I saying about that person? Like, what am I saying about the thing I am commenting on? And it might be clear, it might be like unclear, or it might be, maybe if I don't even know, it might be bullshit.
Well, so for instance, the urinal are mud, right?
Yeah.
The interesting thing would just be a puddle of piss on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so the really interesting thing would be to go to some like major like thing like Art Basel and just say, okay, everybody, and then just piss on the floor. No, actually, you'd have to write our mud on the floor and then piss on it, and everybody'd be like, security. No, that'd be a good one.
Someone would get it.
Oh, people would get it and comment on it.
They still arrest you, but
a lot of good
I'm
artists
sure
have been
I'm
arrested.
sure someone's done it. So
See, okay, if no one's done, there's a lot of you out there. If no one's done that, it's on you. One of you has to do that. Video it, get it back to us.
It's our gift to you.
It's our gift to you. Well, that's about as meta as we can get tonight. So once again,
Enough jibber jabber.
enough jibber jabber, Joe.
Go make something.